Don't will I remember you forever? Locked away, it's the end of this ledger for you. Holding on to this torturous venture. Further away as I live through the pressure with you. 'Cause now it's life without needing. Will I wake up or fall asleep dreaming about you? Wait for me, I'm gonna die soon. Parlor tracks in an empty tomb. But why all of this? Will I get my wish? Dark and deadly, very messy. It's heavy like lead. You're dead and I'm not. What's the poison for? Are you just bored? Keep draining me of my dream to want more with you. I know you're not coming back. Like a flower in winter that will never bloom. I'm gonna join you soon. So put on your best costume, and I'll put on my best costume. Dark and deadly, very messy. It's heavy like lead. You're dead and I'm not. And I'm not. Dark and deadly, very messy. It's heavy like lead. You're dead and I'm not.
It all begins with light, a body rising, a soul remembering. You came here encoded with your truth, timing, and purpose. There's no more searching, no more wondering, only returning. This is what illumination feels like. This is your divine design. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome out to another episode of, I got my hands, I'm going like this. What's your question number 120? A very special number when it comes to the premiere this coming Tuesday for The Boys Decoded. You're going to see that 120. I swear to God, it's always in line with the research. Something or some things are always in line with what I'm doing. And I know that a lot of you have the same things happening to you, where it's just so synchronistic in a big, 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 big way. So I'm very grateful that you're here on this Sunday night. It is around 8:40 p.m. here, Central Standard Time in the Caribbean, in Mexico. And if you're up late, thank you so much for staying up late. If it's your early morning, thank you. Maybe you get your cup of coffee and away you go with your day. If you're down in the Tropic of Capricorn. We've been really busy with a lot of things. That song, by the way, because I know some of you are going to want to know, that is right here. This is the band that we've created. We have two of them, but that is the brand new single that we just released today. It's called "I'm Not," and you can go onto the YouTube. I'm sure Pamela, because we got Pamela number 5 here, I'm sure she'll be able to plop it in there and share it with all of you. So if you like that, that's kind of my rock, experimental, nu metal, etc., etc. All of the lyrics are written by me. I've been a writer since I was a kid, and now because of AI, I'm able to expand with my writing. Right? I can play a few instruments, piano and guitar, but not very well, and I don't really do it all that much. So AI music has really opened up a big doorway for me, and it's a lot of fun. It's a pain in the ass, and it takes a long time to get it the way you want it. So if you've been playing around with it, that was a completely AI generated song, but there was probably about 30 takes to get it that way. 30 different renderings to finally say that's the one. So it's hit or miss. So you can find that right here. This is the channel, Madruger, and this was the latest song right here. We've got quite a few now. So, all right. So let's jump into all this. Let me get this music turned down a little bit. Okay, cool. And let's get into some of these questions for all of you. I'm going to get to as many as I can tonight. You know how if you're new here, what we do is we try to answer as many questions as we can. We go on a lot of rants. My brain goes into a million different directions. What I'm doing, like everybody else, I'm channeling. So whatever's using me with my mind and my voice, it just channels through me, and my mind just goes into a million different directions sometimes, just connecting the dots as best as we can. So thanks, Pamela, for putting that up there. I appreciate that. All right, so let's get into some of these questions, ladies and gentlemen. I also want to say thank you to each and every one of you that has supported this research over on the Patreon. We have about 180 videos now, about 136 hours. If you were to go there now and become a donating member, you'd have access to 136 hours of video content. You're not even going to get through it all. That's how many videos we've put out over there that you're not going to find here on the public YouTube. That helps support the channel and all that kind of stuff. So I appreciate each and every one of you for that. And if you have not joined the Spotlight course, what are you waiting for? We've made it completely free. It's a donation-based platform now. So many people have gone to it now. I'm getting great feedback. So I'm really delighted to hear people making some massive headway in their lives and the people that are around them, because once you learn this system, you can then take anybody that's in your life and apply it to them and learn about the way they function in life. It's a cheat sheet. And if you are going to start dating, for me, the very number one question you should be asking is, what's your birthday? What time were you born? Because I want to know. I want to know what I'm going to get, right? And I get a big chunk of that by looking at the raw data of anybody's chart. You can look at their love signature. You can find out how they want to be loved, how they're going to love. You can find out how they are playing with their emotions through their moon. You're going to find out about their ambitions and drives with their Mars. You're going to find out how they want to expand through Jupiter or Zeus. So these are cheat sheets, man. Astrology, numerology, the playing cards, the tarot, it's all in the Spotlight course, and it's completely a donation-based free model. So you can go head over there and start to take it. It's about 5 hours. It's probably about 7 hours when you start to collect the data. We show you how to do it. Even if you've never touched anything esoteric, it's for the beginner. But it's advanced, but it's made for the beginner. It's advanced material made for the beginner. So if you do 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week, you'll finish it in less than a month. And then you'll have everything you need to figure out what the hell you're doing here, what your code is. Why are you doing the things that you're doing? Why have you done the things that you're doing? Why are you attracted to certain people? Why do you keep attracting certain people in your lives? Intimate partners, friends. You'll have all these answered. The majority of them, you'll have them answered if you take the time to invest into yourself. Okay? Mr. C138, great question. What if my birth certificate doesn't, let me just pop this up on the screen because I can do that now. Hang on, let me just get this. Mr. C is asking a question. What if my birth certificate doesn't have the time of birth? Well, that's totally fine. You will lose a little bit of the astrology. Astrology is based on the constellations, 13 of them, and then tropical is the 12 houses on the inside. If you don't have your time of birth, you will lose the house aspect. Each house is a layer of your personality. First house is your mind. Second house is your neck and your voice, right? Third house is here. Fourth house is your heart. And it goes all the way to the feet by the 12th house. So if you don't have your time of birth, you will lose that aspect. I talk about that during the course. I made sure that I included those of you that don't have your time of birth. Because it's not like you just give up. No, because the placements you're not going to lose. The celestials, where your Mars is at, it doesn't require what house it's going to be in. You're going to be able to gain access to what zodiac sign it's in, what constellation it's in. And that you don't lose based upon the time you were born. Now, there may be a little bit of a difference with the moon position because that does move pretty fast. But it's not going to change your sun position. Okay? What I do explain in the course is you got to plug a time into the astrological chart anyway when you go gather your information. So what I suggest you do if you don't have your birth time, exasperate every avenue you can on asking people in your life, hey, do you have any idea like what was going on when I was brought to the hospital? You know, try to exasperate every avenue you can. And if you don't have access to that, then what I suggest you do, and I say this in the course, is go out into nature. Go do your favorite activity in nature. Maybe it's hiking or biking. And the objective for you is to download your birth time. So when you wake up, it's like a ritual. It's very special. So, you know, Sunday's a good day, right? So Sunday, Saturday night, you get prepared. Sunday, you wake up and your objectives, I'm going to go by myself, spend some time by myself, and I'm going to get my birth time. And you go into nature and you're just looking for the answer. And you don't try to force it. So that's one way you can do it. The other way is you can do dowsing, where you can take a pendulum and you can hold it and you can do the yes or no. If you don't know how to do that, if you just type in pendulum dowsing, you can type that into YouTube. You'll find videos on how to do that. You can use kinesiology if you know somebody that does kinesiology, where you put your arm up and you resist. There are plenty of chiropractors that do that. Even if you had to pay for it, it's worth it. It's an investment into yourself. So there are several ways that you can do that, and those are the several methods that you can do. But it doesn't matter, because the Spotlight course isn't just astrology. It's Enneagram, it's tarot, it's your name numerology, it's your life paths, it's your cards of illumination, all of them. And that's based upon the day you were born. It doesn't matter what time you were born. Okay? So you'll get a ton of information even if you don't have your birth time. But you need to plug one in anyway, so you might as well select one of the suggestions I've given to you. Okay? A lot of people don't have it, and they like, I've gotten feedback. Hey, oh my God, I got this birth time. It feels right. It sounded right, and they plugged it in, and then you gather the information, and it starts to get really accurate, and you know that you're spot on. You need to trust the intuition. Trust it. That's it. Okay? So let me just pop that out. Okay. Yeah, so today is today's the King of Clubs Day, May 17th. This is my spirit card. Maybe it's your birth card. I'm so delighted I'm grateful that I got this in the French Gregorian system. When I say French Gregorian, it's the system that we've been using from day one since we started doing this research. And my spirit card, which is the card that I focus on more than anything else. And it's kind of like, it's what's ruling over you, right? It's the spirit. You could say this is your sun card. And your earth card would be the opposite of that in your astrology chart. That's advanced though. So this is the mastermind card. To give you an example of how violet can be, this is the card for September 11th. Now, who owns this card in the card system? Uranus. Uranus owns it. And if you watched the last presentation I did on here on the public YouTube, when I talked about the kites, I showed you that during September 11th, there was a kite, a sacred geometry shape over the zodiac wheel. There was a kite. And the kite is like a diamond shape, and it was pointing at Uranus. And this is the card for September 11th. Uranus is revolution. It's electric, it's revolutionary. Can cause a lot of disturbance. That's why we're having, during the age of Aquarius, a lot of rebellion. People don't try to boss me around, because the Uranian energy is here. And it doesn't follow orders. In the Greek mythology, it's the OG. It created all the other Olympians and Titans. So on one side, it becomes, gifted with giving a lot of power and creating a lot of change. But on the liability side, it can be very much an outlaw, of revolutionary, and very stubborn. Uranus is. It can be. It can be very destructive. If you have Uranus in your 7th house of relationships, you're probably going to have some very unorthodox relationships. They're not going to be the typical kind of relationships. They're going to be very different, very unique. So wherever you have Uranus in your astrological chart, it brings that uniqueness. Very different. It's not like anything else. Maybe you have it in your 7th house. I like this comment right here by Dean. That's a good one. Fraud is right. I like that. Dark Phoenix, welcome out. I don't remember seeing your name. You might be new, but your question is, my wife left me. Congratulations. I know that's probably not what you want to hear. The universe did you a favor. Your screenplay did. I know it hurts, the emotions, it sucks, and maybe she'll come back. Maybe there's a lesson in that. When somebody gets divorced, I say congratulations. I don't say, oh, poor you. No, that was a big transformational moment in your life. See, a lot of people are in relationships right now, and they want to leave, but they can't for whatever reason. So what I would encourage you to do is, rather than look at why she left and who she left you for, that's irrelevant. Doesn't matter. Why did it happen for you? What is it going to open up for you? Maybe you just didn't have the courage to walk away yourself. Maybe you've been wanting to walk away. And if not, if you wanted to stay, if it came out of nowhere, which I doubt that it came out of nowhere, it's probably building up. I'm assuming, so I could be wrong. But the universe, your screenplay has now opened up and given you an opportunity. The opportunity may be to go into a completely different direction. So that's why I say congratulations. That's not a pity party when stuff like this happens. You know, because again, a lot of people are deathly afraid of leaving the relationship they're in because maybe they don't have an income. Maybe they just don't want to be alone. Maybe they don't have any assets and they'd have to walk away from all their assets. And so then you would just be like, well, why can't you create your own assets? Why can't you create your own income? Why can't you just go and be alone for a little bit, right? So I'm branching off. I'm not saying these things are happening to you or for you, but these are scenarios for some people, right? And ultimately, the decision has to be up to you what to do. Yeah, I get it, man. And of course it hurts because you have feelings and emotions. That's the challenge that we have with relationships. If you're single right now and you're thinking about getting into a relationship, that scenario that's happened to you, that could happen to anybody. There's no guarantee. The guarantee in a relationship is you're going to suffer. Because once you attach your emotions to the person that you start dating and you start falling in love with, you start to suffer. When they suffer, you suffer. If they have infidelity issues, you're going to suffer. If you catch them, you're going to suffer. So how to avoid that? Don't get into the relationship. And I know it's like, oh, that's easier said than done. I agree. But again, it's the same scenario as if you're going to go, which I've talked about so many times. If you want to get a dog or a cat, you want to get a puppy, just know that you're probably going to have to bury it and probably spend a lot of money on vet bills. So if you don't have a lot of money, like if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you just like, I just want a friend, I want to get a dog or a cat, it's your responsibility when you take that dog or cat on. And if they get sick, some people, they like, I don't have the money to do it. So the dog or cat suffers because you don't have the money to help them out. So again, we want to use logic and critical thinking. Not saying you don't go get that, but I'm saying is that know that if you don't have a lot of money and you take on a dog or cat, you just added on another layer of slavery to yourself because now you have to buy food and all that kind of stuff. Sure, there's plenty of rewards. It's great. It loves you. It's man's best friend, woman's best friend. So there's a lot of bliss to it. But there becomes attachments and there is slavery to it. And again, you're going to bury that dog or cat, most likely. I mean, I'm 53. If I got a dog right now, guarantee I'm going to bury it. I'm going to have to watch it die. I may have to put it down and euthanize it, and that's going to tear me apart. Because I love animals. And it's like, do you want to go through that? Knowing that you're going to have to do that. Now, do you want to do it? So it's a different story when you premeditate the thought of like, do I want to get the dog or cat? Do I want to get into the relationship? Even as a parent, we've talked about this so many times. When you're a parent, you suffer when your kids suffer. And I know none of you would say, I would do it again and again. I get that. You don't have a choice. That's your screenplay. But I'm saying is if you're thinking about having a child, just remember you're bringing a child into this world, which is, in my eyes, depending on where you're living, you willingly bringing a child into a nightmare. That's on you. Because it's a crapshoot when you bring a child into this world. You don't know how they're going to turn out. You don't know what they're going to face, but I guarantee they're going to face suffering because everybody does. Well, that means that you're on the hook for the suffering. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear that. They get turned off. I'm going to get thumbs down for that. That's totally fine. I like to talk about the things that are real, that really happen, that people want to avoid. They don't want to talk about it. That's what I like to talk about. The real things in life that nobody wants to talk about. They want to avoid it for the personal satisfaction of whatever. Maria says, I ordered my medicine cards yesterday. Beautiful. I do want to point out something here. The medicine cards are part of the Spotlight course. It's part of the totem pole that you do once in your life. It's a once in a lifetime thing. That's part of the Spotlight course. I learned from a real Cherokee shaman. So I thought it was very special, and it was very, very mind-blowing for me. So I included it in the Spotlight course. And again, it's something that is very unique. I do want to point out, because some of you have purchased the cards and you have messaged me and you're like, hey, there's only 44 cards in my deck. Yeah, that's because it's the newer deck. Or it's either the older deck or the newer deck. The deck that I'm used to had 52 cards. The Cherokee shaman that I learned from, there was 52 in the deck. Some of you have gotten a deck with 44, and there's blank cards and you can write on whatever you want. I suggest if you have the 44, just use the 44. Just pull the cards from the 44. You don't have to write in any other animals or insects or reptiles to make up for the ones that are not included in your deck. You got the 44 counted deck, that's the deck you use. Okay? So congratulations, Maria. I'm sure you'll have very mind-blowing moments when you start to do it. It's amazing. And we're coming out with another module that takes the playing cards, and we have the medicine cards overlaid onto that. So when you start to gather your astrological placements with the cards, you can also include the medicine cards in there. You can literally, your totem pole, you can literally match it up. I'm not your totem pole, your 14 cards of the cards of illumination, the cosmic playing cards, cards of destiny, whatever you want to call them. You have 14 of them, from the moon all the way to your midheaven and your phoenix card, 14 of them. So you can take all the medicine cards and overlay those onto the 14 and dump those in to get your definitions. To add to, because it's layers of the onion, the esoteric for you. As many tools as you can get, the better you're going to get meaning for your life. The deeper meaning you're going to get. Okay? I don't know what... welcome out, Tiffany. Tiffany says, send your money. And I'm not selling anything because the Spotlight course is completely donation based. It's a free platform. You have to buy the medicine cards. I don't make anything. They're not my cards, but they're required. They're like $20. So no, it's not me selling anything. I'm just trying to tell you that you have to buy them though, if you want to do that. But I get nothing from it. I don't know anybody from the company that owns the cards. They're not my cards. What's up, Dr. Danny? Dr. Danny in the house. Everybody look up. Tracy says life is a crapshoot. How could it not be? Roll the dice. That's what I'm saying. If you're in a relationship and you're in love and you say to your partner or your partner says to you, let's have a baby, just know that you're bringing the kid in, you're on the hook. You're responsible for all their sufferings. You're responsible for it. It's your responsibility. If they go to prison, it's your fault. If they become a drug addict, it's your fault. I know a lot of you get turned off and you hate me for saying that, but I mean, how is it not true? Don't bring the child into the world and then you alleviate the responsibility. So it is a crapshoot. You don't know what you're going to get. But I do know if you don't have a child, you know what you're going to get. You're not going to become a slave and you don't have to worry about what could happen. I mean, that's how we all got here, right? The game of life is about light and love. That's what wins the game of life. That's what beats out evil. Theology says what beats out evil? Light and love. The adversary of light and love is darkness and evil. So love and light is what continues to move this game forward. And that's how you and I all got here. Two people had sex and made you. And here you are. And now you go through this life with all these things that happen for you, both good and bad. But I know if I sat down with you and I said, hey, if you could remove all of your suffering, would you sign up for that? And I don't think there's any person here that would say no. I think every single one of you would say, yes, I would. I mean, I would. If I could check the box off, of course. That's why you avoid suffering at all costs. We avoid suffering at all costs. We take the least traveled road to get there. We want to get it as quick as we can, right? We look for the cheapest, this and that. Like when you're buying a plane ticket, do you just right away choose the most expensive one? No. You choose the one that's least expensive with your budget, with what you get, the options. For the most part, we take the path less traveled. We want to get there the fastest, but we want to pay the least amount. We want to get there, but we don't want to have the suffering. You want to get on the plane, but you don't want the turbulence. You wouldn't sign it. You wouldn't say, hey, we're going to go on this plane and there's going to be a lot of turbulence. Do you want to go on that plane ride or do you want to go on a smooth plane ride? Every one of you is going to choose the smooth plane ride. You're not going to choose, yeah, I'll take the turbulence. No, you wouldn't take it. So you wouldn't choose the suffering. I wouldn't choose the suffering, but that's what this life gives out. It gives out a lot of pleasure, but it also gives out its even dose of pain and suffering. And I know it gives beauty to the pleasure because then you know the contrast. But again, if you're going to bring another life into this world, you're on the hook for their suffering. Now, there's no other way around it. It's just the way it is. It's an interesting poll. 43% of married people would leave their partner forever if they were given $1 million. Yeah, a lot of it has to do with money. A lot of people are codependent, or they're stay-at-home mothers and fathers. Like, that's their job, right? Doesn't pay anything, but that's their job, and it's probably a really challenging one to be a parent. So a lot of people, we have this mindset as human beings that money can solve a lot of issues, and it does. Definitely does solve a lot of the issues. Jerbear67 said, the first choice is the choice of who are our parents. Nothing is the parents' fault. See, I disagree. It's a paradox. Because we go retro back to is the evidence is we don't choose anything. Our lives are through fate and destiny. We have mounds of evidence to support that as discovery. So if I went in front of a jury, that's what I would present to them. Here's all the evidence of predestination, meaning you didn't choose anything. It chose you. So the paradox is that because we live through fate and destiny and predestination, yes, the paradox is it's nobody's fault because that's what you got. But maybe the message is for you when you hear something, you're like, oh, I never thought of it that way. Maybe I don't want to get the dog now because I'm going to have to bury it. So you don't get the dog. Or you don't have the child now. And that was scripted for you. So because things happen to us that you would think thwart your life to a different door, to a different area of life. You go down that door and you wouldn't have done it unless somebody inspired you or somebody influenced you, or you hear a story that makes you a little bit fearful on some things. So while I agree that the choice is an illusion, there is no such thing as choice. Even neuroscience, which we've covered under the Free Will Decoded, the neuroscience has shown with its own layers of evidence that the brain makes decisions milliseconds, sometimes seconds before you actually move into action, which indicates that free will is an illusion. So there's no choice. But I'm not here to twist anybody's arm. I want the evidence. I know a lot of you want the evidence. Joe Potter. So we don't choose our own adventure. That's not what Discovery shows. Nope. Your fate chooses for you. This is nothing new. The Greeks talked about it thousands and thousands of years ago. We're living through predestination. When you start to string along everything that's happened for you, you'll start to see the numbers in the code support predestination. So the choice is an illusion. We've talked about this free will thing so many times. It pisses people off. Because when you are told that you don't have free will, it's like being put into prison. What do people want to do when they get put into prison? They want to escape. What happened when COVID happened in 2020? You probably get irritated. When you're forced to do something, you want to escape it. That's the natural inclination of what it means to be a human being. So if somebody tells you you don't have free will, and then I give you the evidence of that, the mind just won't accept it. Because now you're limited to the fate and destiny. Jerbear says, even if there is no choice, if you are predestined to your parents, then it's not their fault. Exactly. So it's a paradox, but essentially it is their fault. Because again, if you're a parent right now, if you're a mother and father, let's think about this logically. If you're a mother and father, and you're sitting down, not a mother and father, if you're a husband and wife, and you're like, hey, let's have a baby. And then you start to sit with this logic. And you're like, yeah, but you know what? It's a crapshoot, like Tracy said. And we're going to bring him into a world of a nightmare for a lot of ways. There's no guarantees on anything, but the guarantee is that you're going to suffer. And there's no avoiding that. So maybe the idea using logic and sitting down with critical thinking, the screenplay for you was, that's the message that we needed to hear to say we're not going to do that. That's all. So it is a paradox. So you're right when you say your parents had nothing to do with it. Absolutely. For sure. It's the screenplay that you got, that your parents got to have you. You and I are here based on predestination. But now you know that you're living through predestination, and at the same time, when you end up wanting to get into a relationship with somebody and you look at the world around you, we live in a pretty crazy world for a lot of you, or you live in a crazy world, and that's what your forecast, that's what you're gonna bring into this world. So you're like, I don't know if I want to do that. So you don't do it. So it's your screenplay not to do it. So it becomes a paradox. What's up, Maya? Maya says, then it wasn't meant to be. That's right. It wasn't part of the screenplay, the predestination. And you'd have to be on board with that, you know? So if you haven't done enough research on the evidence showing predestination, you might not be on board with that. I know some of you think you have free will. Like you're convinced you have control over your life. That's totally cool. I don't take anything away from you on that. But if I were to press you, I would ask you a very simple question. What is your best evidence to prove that you have free will? And I have yet to have a single person come forward and provide any scrap of evidence to show that they have free will, that they're making the choices, on their own. But when you do the forensics, all of it's lined up. We've done so many videos of bands and getting into a band because they were supposed to get into the band and becoming a head person of this company because they were supposed to. So many different examples of predestination. And then, you would ask the question, if this person didn't have a choice, why would you have a choice? What would make you different? So here on this channel, we have almost 800 videos, and that's what we show. The evidence that band members, especially we do a lot of bands and music and TV and actors and movies and all that stuff. And we've shown with the evidence that especially musicians, they didn't have a choice. They got into the band because they were supposed to get into the band. That was their fate and destiny. So if they didn't have a choice, then why would you have a choice? I don't have, there's nobody that has any evidence, a shred of evidence to show. But the predestination, and this is the thing, is it turns people off. They get mad. They get mad at me. They have an emotional reaction to what I'm saying. You don't have to, the thing is these are my opinions and truths on this channel. You don't have to agree with me. We could just call it a day. Right? It doesn't matter what my opinion is. It's meaningless. But if we're going to go before a jury, what evidence would you bring to the court to show to the jury that you have free will, that you're making choices on your own account? I have hours and hours and hours and documents and files showing you that we don't have the choices. To tell the jury, here's the evidence. So if we're going to go that route, that's what I'm talking about. I treat it like discovery. But if it doesn't matter to you, like, I don't care about that, that's totally fine. Doesn't matter, right? But on this channel here, that's our truth, and we back it up with evidence. I don't just give you an opinion. Everybody's got an opinion. That's the thing. And again, it's not me telling you this. It's the evidence telling you. Because I get a lot of people, they get mad at me for it. What are you getting mad at me for? You're getting mad at the evidence. I'm just delivering the information to you. Randy's asking, do you think we can return under a different script if we self-delete? Are you talking about taking yourself out? I don't know what you mean by that. I mean, I would encourage that. You know, I tell you, what's fascinating about this area right here is, I was watching this judge in a courtroom, and he was about to give a sentence to I think the guy was a murderer. And the murderer was literally begging the judge to give him lethal injection. And he literally, in the courtrooms, he's telling the judge, I already know I'm coming back, so just take me out. Just get rid of me. Why wait? I don't want to wait, just kill me. So I can come back. Now, I'm not saying he's got the truth. But it was really fascinating, this guy. So Maya says, stir the pot. Well, don't we do that? Well, that's what we do here. This is what we do. We stir the pot. Do we disrupt the pot? We go against the grain. Coded to do it. For sure. Milton, nice to have you here. Milton's question is, I'm not sure how to interpret my cosmic codes with the elements. Have you gone through the Astro-Alchemical Cosmic Codes section of the Spotlight course? It's very self-explanatory. We did not... Yeah, we did include it. We just released a book, and let me show you, so you can. Let me open this up. On the Spotlight website, under books, let me just turn my cursor on here. We just released this book. It's completely free. Okay, it goes into all the codes that blend with the gates. So you can download it for free, right? It gives you the idea of how the gates of human design are attached to the periodic table. And it gives the liabilities and assets, which I like to talk about. It gives the definitions of what it means to be going into the Aquarian age if you have these gates and activated in the elements. And the thing is that when you go to the periodic table, if you land on a gate, like gate number 13 or gate number 19. You know, gate 19 is in Aquarius. Gate 41 is in Aquarius. This is the big heavy hitter in Aquarius. This is what human design hinges upon. Gate 41 is in the root, and it is the gate of imagination. So you would then be able to look up what niobium means, and this has a Greek mythology to it. Niobe, and what this means. And so the book gives you the idea of what you can do with AI when you take the Spotlight course, what you can ask AI. And it's just simply taking, like, if you have a gate 41 activated, let's say your sun is in gate 41, you can ask AI, hey, what does a sun in Aquarius through gate 41 have to do with niobium? And that's what we talk about in this book. I've given every gate and every element in this book, so you can download that for free. And while I'm at it, I might as well tell you that under the Cosmic Sugar website, our main website, under the book section, we just put out another free book called The Electric Lamb. You can download this one completely for free. It's got big text, so it's formatted for cell phones specifically, and it's about 109 pages, so it's very short. This is all my theories, the what ifs, what the Lamb of God means. So there's a lot of material that we give away for free. I got this one for free, Name Your Body. If you have issues with any health in your body, this one's a must. You start to give names to all your body parts, and then you develop a personal relationship with them. And we speak magic spells, so you start talking to your body. And then we have this one, our first one. This one is this one's $20. This one has all the cards in the tarot that are associated with it. But we do have a lot of free stuff on here, book-wise. We have Alchemical Cities. This is another book for free. This is groundbreaking material. The world's never kind of seen this, but brand new. You can do this with where you're located at. It has to do with alchemy and the city and the map and the ley lines and the grids and all that stuff. So that's what we got. So, check it out. Whoops. Should have taken that off. Yeah, this is a very interesting topic to talk about. And that is because in their truth, they're right. Everybody's right. And the paradox is that they are doing things. That this organization does do some heavy hitter things. The code shows it. But I would just go all the way back to that organization is not in control. So they become slaves. They have to do what their code has assigned them to do. So you can start to pinpoint all this stuff to, it's them, it's they're doing it, it's this and that. They may be doing it. You're doing a lot of things. But the thoughts you have coming into your mind, where are they coming from? Why are you making the decisions that you make in your life? So essentially, yes, that part of that is right, that, yeah, they're definitely doing things, but they're not orchestrating it. They're just carrying it out, just like you and I. You're carrying out your screenplay. Mr. Mann's asking, can I decode? I don't know who Bear Grylls is. I don't even know who David Goggins is. That's how ignorant I am in some areas in life. So. Angelic Creature 777, nice to have you here. I love you have the guitar in your hand. That's cool. Where's the moon rising tonight? Well, let's look into that. Let's take a gander. We're going to go to Stellarium. This is the most accurate out of anything today. And let's place the constellations. And we're just going to type in moon here. There it is. It's a new moon. Barely have any edges here. It's a new moon. Where's the moon at? It's in Taurus. New moon in Taurus. So it's being affected by having a party with Mercury, Uranus, and the Sun. These are all in Taurus right now. Uranus will be in Taurus till about 2033. It's not in Gemini like so many people swear up and down. Again, if you want to verify this information, go buy a telescope. And you'll see that this website will be accurate with your own two eyes. So, yeah, the new moon is in Taurus, and it'll be there until the 18th. It'll literally move. That's how fast it moves. It'll be in a cusp position. The only thing I don't like about Stellarium is, they draw these arbitrary lines around these, walls around the constellations. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think, right now Venus is at the foot of Gemini, but I still think it's picking up some of the Taurian energy by Zeta Tauri. And it will even be picking up some of the energy by Orion. These all affect the ecliptic. It's not just the 13 constellations. The constellations, the 13 of them, they sit on the ecliptic. These came first. Before anybody put a 12-house division into the sky, which if you look up in the sky, you're not going to see 12 houses. It's imaginary, but these are not. These actually exist. This is what the ancients were looking at, these. And they're all different sizes. So you can't put this in a 30-degree box like you do. Like Libra is not the same size as Virgo. So you could fit over 2 Libras in Virgo. So to give these all the same sizes is completely disrespectful to the constellations themselves. And then you have Ophiuchus, which is right along the ecliptic there. I mean, this is what denotes what makes a constellation part of the round table is they have to have a star go over the ecliptic, and 51 Ophiuchi does. So the leg of Ophiuchus goes over the ecliptic, and it allows it to be part of the round table. So there are 13 signs. But the other ones on the inside and the outside most definitely influence all the other ones. Especially these three. I'm gonna share with some of you. I'm gonna share with all of you right now something very fascinating. I study a lot of serial killer stuff. I got Scorpio in the first house, so I'm a detective, naturally. And what's mind-blowing about, I think I have all this. Yeah, right here. When was the majority of serial killers? What time period? Between 1960 and there was a huge peak in 1970s. So when you go and you look at that time period, when I go to 1970, 1969, right? Doesn't matter what month, because the main thing you want to look at is this planet right here, this one. Pluto. Pluto's position is the reason why serial killers, a lot of them were born around this time. They were born having Hades in Leo, the black sun in the white sun, or even in the sign of Cancer. 1944, 1942, you're talking about John Wayne Gacy. You're talking about the Green River Killer. But the big marker is not just these right here, but it is Hydra. the largest constellation that spans Cancer, Leo, and Virgo, affecting everything that goes by its constellation on the ecliptic. And Pluto, during the surge of serial killers, was through this span right here, and you can see the time frame. John Wayne Gacy, 44, I think, 42. The Pluto was in Cancer. Pluto is the destroyer, the black sun. And as it goes through these years, 1960, 1970, this is when the big surge of serial killers happened. The late 60s, early 70s. It's in Hydra. Hydra's affecting all the things that come along that ecliptic right there. So I've studied enough charts to know that if you have Hades and Leo, it can make you very dark. Extremely dark. Extremely dark. If you have Hades in your first house and it's in Leo, there is the shadow side of you is a very dark person. Be a very dark person. Because it's your mind in the first house, Hades, in the sign of Leo, and Leo is the pompous king. Leo is like, look at me, I don't do anything wrong. You add the black sun to it. So it darkens the light in that person. It can. And I've studied enough serial killers now to see how this really plays out. And this is how I know we live in a scripted reality, because these serial killers killed because of the placements they had. The Son of Sam killer, David Berkowitz, Hades and Leo. The Green River killer, Hades, one of the most prolific serial killers. This guy right here. Let me see if I can. Right here. You have Mark Reby, but this guy right here, Gary Ridgway. Okay? 71 admitted killings. February 18th, 1949. If you go and put that in here, I think I actually have this one open. Look at where his Hades is at. Right at the freaking head of Hydra. There's Hades right there. And right at the beginning of Leo. One of the most prolific, worst serial killers ever. And he's still alive. February 18th. 7 of diamonds. So you can imagine if you get that script. What a horrible, what a nasty code to get. Now, obviously, what's preventing why it's gone down is because Pluto's not in those signs anymore. So the people that were born during those times have that energy. And what made it even worse is that there was no DNA tracing back then. There was no cameras. Like there's no tracking and tracing back then. There's no cell phones. Nobody carried video cameras. Everybody has a video camera in their pocket. Nobody was carrying around an 8mm camera that they had back in the day. You know, the JFK assassination was shot with an 8mm, the Zapruder film. A Bennett Howell camera, a big, bulky. No, who carries those around? That was in 1963. So nobody was carrying those around. So that's why crime prevention is, the whole Minority Report and the idea of that, it looks like it's going to come true because you end up being able to see everywhere and you can't hide. So the serial killer stuff dropped off in a big way. So astrologically it dropped off because of Hades moving out of Hydra and Leo and Virgo and Cancer, but also because of the DNA and the technology and the cameras and all that kind of stuff. What's up, Isaac? Isaac's asking about having a kite in your birth chart. No, there's no good or bad. Try to get that out of your mind. Do the best you can of getting that out of your mind. Good or bad. It just is. It's what you were dealt. The focal point, the harness of the kite. Like where it comes down and meets that pinpoint area. There's 4 different points, A, B, C, and D. I'm going through your comments. Thanks everybody for being here. Yeah, Maya, Jack the Ripper, that's a long time ago. I never looked into Jack the Ripper. It's a lot of speculation on that, but I know they have timetables that are associated with that. Tammy's asking, did I do a decode on that? I have not. I haven't done a decode on the Son of Perdition. See, even this right here, even this with Dean saying most of my beneficial and malefic luminaries, I would even put that to rest. Once you get that out of your vocabulary, like get rid of the good and evil out of your vocabulary. Do the best you can of getting rid of the benevolent and the malefic. Get those out of your vocabulary. Get those out of your mind. Because there's not a single celestial that you could just say is straight evil. No, it's a yin-yang for both. There's a light and a shadow side to both. This is a long question here. Poker is easy. When you see all these different combinations and what should I do about it? Well, have you done the Spotlight course, Poker is Easy? That would be my first suggestion. It's completely donation-based. It's completely free. So the only thing you have to invest is your time. So the best way I can answer that question is go do the Spotlight course, and I bet that the majority of your questions will get answered. I would bet that'd be the case for you. Tammy's asking, so you do it. I have so much in the queue, Tammy, honestly. I haven't looked at it. I'll consider it, but I have so much way before that right now. But I'll consider it. I mean, I've already decoded the JFK assassination twice. I don't know if you watched those. There's one on the Patreon, which was the most eye-opening presentation we've done on the JFK assassination, and then we have one here on the public YouTube. So I've really exasperated that whole topic. So we got some Jason from Archaics fans in the house. The challenge I have with this is that 138 years prior to the 2040 date that Jason's predicting was 1902, and the only thing that happened in 1902 that was big was the eruption, and there was 29,000 people that lost their lives. I mean, there have been plenty of other 29,000, 30,000 people dying that would not be in that format. So, I don't know. I don't have enough knowledge on that, but I think it's Mount Pele, 29,000 people. Yeah, Tammy, if you haven't watched the JFK, if you're on the Patreon, if you're a donating member on the Patreon, I have a mind-blowing JFK presentation over there where I went into the Zapruder film like crazy, and then who I thought actually shot JFK, which wasn't my idea. I pieced it all together. So it's really important. What do I think to have 6 planets in Virgo? Well, you got 6. You got. When you start to look at the zodiac wheel, the constellations, right? I look at it like a round table, and the celestials are like people. They're sitting at the table. So what would it be like if you had 6 of your best friends sitting with you at the table, elbow to elbow? Like the idea of that, right? You have 6 celestials in Virgo sitting at the table. Well, then you would think, very first and foremost, what does Virgo mean? Like, if we're all going to sit at this table, there's rules that the table gives off. I like to look at the zodiac signs or the constellations like hotels. If you walked into the hotel of Virgo, what would the lobby look like? Well, we know Virgo is ruled by Mercury, traditionally. So there's a lot of thinking that would go into the lobby. Virgo is number 6, and the 6th sign in Chinese is the serpent. That connects to Mercury. But 6 is the first perfect number. It's the golden ratio, the symbol. So it's the spiral. But Virgo clearly is a sign of Earth. So what you would probably look for in Virgo, the lobby hotel of Virgo, it'd probably have a lot of greenery, probably have some waterfalls and a lot of trees. You ever been to Vegas? Some of the hotels, they have these lush gardens. I think the Bellagio is one of the better ones that highlights that. That's like a Virgo environment. Virgo is the Earth, the Virgin. And so Virgo the Virgin doesn't want to lose her virginity. So if you can think of this example, and I use it so much during readings for people. Imagine what the earth looked like when it was brand new. However long that was, because it had a starting point. So when it was brand new and what it looked like, that's the essence of Virgo in its asset-based position. And Virgo doesn't want to lose her virginity. So she keeps away, and this is why a lot of people that have, in this case for you, that have a lot of activity in Virgo is they become very OCD. They become very afraid of bacteria and germs. They don't like spills and messes. They have boundaries. Now, if that's nothing like you, I would bet my life that you are constantly critiquing yourself and the world around you, because that's what Virgo does. Virgo's like, if that is not working right, it's interfering with my virginity. I want it removed. I want it changed. So you got 6 people sitting at the table, all those energies, and then they have their own personality. So if you have Zeus sitting at the table of Virgo, what is Zeus's job? I expand. So he's going to expand Virgo. That's what his job is. The expansion of earth, the expansion of beauty. But it comes with a price tag, because the liability of that, the shadow side of that is you become this critic. If you have a lot of activity in Virgo, you become a massive critic of the world outside of you and the world inside of you. If you got 6 layers of energy in there, I can only imagine how hard you are on yourself. Now, the liability, the asset of that is you could become extremely proficient in analytical things. You can be extremely proficient in precise things, being very precise, wanting to get it exactly the right way. On the liability side is you procrastinate because it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. So you just don't do anything at all. So that can play out as a shadow through the lens of Virgo. But 6 players at the table of Virgo and Hotel Virgo, that's a lot to deal with. So the way to look at that is, what is Virgo like? If you're getting a room at Hotel Virgo, think of the celestials like that. Like, they stop by at Hotel Virgo and they're like, hey, we want to rent a room. And Virgo's like, okay, but you got to abide by my rules. And then you blend the energy of that celestial with the rules of Virgo. And when you got 6 people sitting at the table, elbow to elbow, that's a lot of energy to deal with. It can really suppress, because you have so much going on. It's ruled by Mercury. So, and then if your Mercury's there, it's even more. But if your Mercury's not there, you got to look to where Mercury is, because Mercury is going to impact that sign of Virgo and those 6 celestials sitting there. Even just a few celestials sitting in Virgo can cause someone to be a massive critic. Because that is the virgin. She doesn't want to lose her virginity. So she'll do whatever it takes to make sure that her version of virginity and perfection stays intact. Get those germs out of here. Clean those spills and messes up. It's got to be done my way. It's got to be clean. Squeaky clean. You didn't clean it right. These are the ideas with Virgo. So I hope that helped. Well, your ask on this is in time, because I have on Tuesday, the 19th, just a couple days away, I have The Boys coming out, Decoded. Now, whether or not you've watched the show is irrelevant, but I'm going to talk about what I have been shown with regards to that guy. So you don't want to miss it. It's at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a premiere on the 19th, on Tuesday. So if you can't catch that time, you can watch it after the fact. Yeah, Nancy, I get it, man. I mean, I'm doing my own thing. I'll be honest, I don't really follow Jason's research like a lot of you here have. I skim through. I think he's extremely intelligent. I have deep respect and admiration for him. I think he's an amazing human being. So I don't know everything. But, you know, I'll just leave it at that. You know? You know, here's the other challenge I would say, right? Because I'm going to stir the pot. If I ask you, do you think that some of the things in history are fabricated, what would your answer be? Do you think some of the things in history have been staged and fabricated? Do you think that's a fact or you think that's fiction? And I know if you're being authentic, you'd say, yeah, I think that there are things in history that have been fabricated. Okay, great. So now that we've established that, that means that some of the history that we look at it didn't really happen. So even if a whole bunch of people come out and they write books, like 5 people write out these books, they may have come together and fabricated the books, and you resort to them and say, see, it's in the book. It's this author says it and that author says it. Yeah, but they all got together and they fabricated the evidence and they put it into the history books, and you're just claiming that that's factual. Because we know that some things in history are fabricated. It doesn't matter that they're fabricated because we're in a movie and it doesn't matter. But that's the thing I have an issue with history, is that nobody has it all figured out. And I know that the timeline of history is not accurate when it comes to like that really happened versus that not really happening. That's all. That's my whole thing. But I'm not like I am ignorant in the areas of chronology. Jason is the master at it. So I yield to that. But that's a big challenge for me, is that some of history has been fabricated and we're claiming that it really happened. And the code doesn't care, as we've talked about, between fiction and nonfiction, because the code and this reality treats this reality as a big movie, whether it's real or not real. So if I decode a movie, the code's going to come out like I'm decoding my own life. You see? So even if something in the past, 100 years ago, even if there is evidence to say that it happened, it doesn't mean it really did. There's no way to verify other than saying, well, see, they wrote about it, so it's true. That doesn't mean it really happened. That's all. That's all I'm saying about that. Right? I'll just leave it there. Because it doesn't disprove any of his great research at all of what I just said. I'm just stirring the pot. I don't know, like compared to him, I'm super ignorant in the area. Like he's read way more books and his area of expertise supersedes mine with chronology and history. But again, I mean, what we can say is that some of history has been fabricated. And that throws a big wrench into saying, well, that really happened. Well, not necessarily. Oh, what's up, Jordan? Thanks, brother, for the comment. I appreciate that. The great Jordan over at Waters Above. So let me break and talk about his... he just released... Let me go here. Get my ass off screen here. Oh. Here's Jordan's brand new platform. He already launched it. And he's got a lot of stuff, man. He's got triple the amount of people that follow this research. Really amazing website. He did a phenomenal job. I love all this parallel scrolling stuff. And he has his brand new platform. You can do the monthly or annually. And you get a lot for it because you join a community and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not the person to tell you what this is all about. I'm not the person to narrate all this stuff. But he has changed so many people's lives. And that's what I value about him. The people that change people's lives. Just like Jason from Archaics. You know what I like about him? He changes people's lives. Even if you don't agree with everything he said, it doesn't matter. He's actually making you think. He's stirring the pot. He's changing people's lives. And that to me is important. So I value that, the influence of that. I try to look at the good in people, right? Because we all have the darkness inside of us. I try to look at the good in people. Sometimes it's tough to do that. So Jordan's one of those guys. Jordan, he continues to pump out content. He's very loyal to his community. Like when you join his community, you know that he's going to pump out the content. And he's a great influencer, man. You know, he's got a lot of wisdom, and he shares. I mean, it's not just about the stock markets or the crypto markets and the moon cycles and the sun and all that. It's about health and wellness. He's, big into that kind of stuff. So his mastermind course talks all about that stuff. So I'm honored, and I think we're doing a podcast tomorrow. I don't know, Jordan, are we? So give a shout out to Jordan. Marching Aries. There isn't one. I'm either neutral to it, or, to be honest, I'm a little biased, like I like it all. Because again, I don't look at planets as malefic. Like Shiva the Destroyer in the Vedic traditions, would you consider that malefic? Would you consider destruction malefic? Like September 11th, would you consider that malefic? Most people would say that would be the case. If you're going to describe it and use an adjective, yes, you would say, yeah, that was an act of evil. That's how you would describe it, with your adjectives. See, I look at it, it was an event that happened. Unfortunately, there was 3,000 people that died. I'm grateful I wasn't there. That's how I look at it. I get into a state of gratitude because I wasn't in New York and I didn't lose my life, and I didn't know anybody personally that lost their life during that time. So I'm grateful that I didn't get put into that situation. So I immediately move into a state of gratitude. So I don't have an opinion towards the things I don't like about charts. Because you see the shadow side, you see what you could potentially be from a layer of the shadow side, the demon inside of you, the little devil inside of you. That's why I've said this so many times, be the best little devil you can be. You can't help it. When next time you get really freaking pissed off at somebody, you think that's the light? Oh man, that's the shadow coming out, man. That's the opposite of love. You could definitely say, yeah, but I'm doing this because I love you, and that's just all BS. No, you're doing it because something's rubbing you the wrong way or a different way, and you don't like it. So you're going to revolt against it. Yeah, here you go. Here's a testimonial for you for Jordan. I get emotional speaking about it because he doesn't even know me, but I have been listening and watching back his lives for years. Changed my diet, started working out, fixed my mind and relationships. See, so there's a perfect example of what Jordan at Waters Above has done for people. That's what I like to focus on, man. It's great. I have not done a decode on this. I've looked into it, but I have not done a decode on it. Jekyll Island. Dean, I appreciate that. Well, I have this fancy with psychology. If I knew what my astrology chart was all the way back when I was in high school, I may have gone to college to become a psychologist because I have Scorpio in my first house. So I'm a natural born detective. That's why I'm a forensic decoder. Or I wouldn't work. I've said it so many times. I think working for the CIA would be a really dope job. I do. Because I want to get to the deep. I want to look for serial killers. I think it's just, I like going into the mind. I study them. I'm constantly watching videos about like why people kill. Why would you do that? So I appreciate that, but I mean, it's in my code to do it. La Cuenta Maestro, any natal script can be surpassed. What do you mean by that? Not sure what you mean by that. Could you let me know what you mean by that? Yeah, so there you go. Angelic. Leo ascending. 6 planets in Virgo. Whew. That's a lot of energy to deal with, man, Virgo-wise. That's for sure. Good for him. This is what I got to do. I'm actually taking a break. I haven't taken a vacation. Like, I've traveled to see my parents, but I haven't taken a break from this life that I've been living, decoding. I'm suffering because of it. So I'm excited because I'm going to Canada next month, and I'm going for a month. I'm not just gonna not put out content. That's going to keep flowing, but I'm taking some time off, man, of my normal routine. So I'm looking forward to that. Nancy says, math doesn't lie. Chronology is real. It is real, but again, there are fabricated layers to history. So even if the numbers match up with the history, there are things that have happened in history that were fabricated. So the numbers are real for sure. The numbers never lie. The numbers are always going to be specific. Again, we've done so many decodes, and we say that this reality doesn't care if it really happened or it didn't happen, because the code's going to come out the exact same way. You're going to see the forensics come out the same way. Anyway, like I said, Jason from Archaics is amazing. I have nothing ill will or bad to say about him. I endorse all this history and his chronology. Extremely intelligent guy. He's the top of his field, and I value him as a friend, and as somebody who, you know, I respect and have a lot of admiration for, because he's got a lot of knowledge, and I think it's amazing. Yeah, I was just thinking about, calling Jason up and asking him if he wants to do a podcast with Jordan again, Decoding the Waters Above. And I haven't done that yet. So I got to reach out to him. But if he's taking a break, well. Jordan says, I've read at least 5 books. One of them was The Very Hungry Caterpillar. I've never heard of that book. Interesting. All right. The Very Hungry Caterpillar, Jordan says. All right. Throw another shout out for Jordan. Jordan says, Clementine for the website wizardry. She's a gem. Maybe if you're somebody who needs to have something done, maybe Jordan would be the person to point in the right direction. He just released the platform, so they already built a lot of cool stuff. So that's pretty awesome. Here's a great question Randy's asking. You'd have to ask Jordan that one. But that's a great question. All right, cool. Well, dial me in. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan and I are going to do a podcast. Jordan, just text me. I have my phone on airplane mode right now, but just text me. Let me know what time you want to do it. I think I told you, like, I'm free after 3:30. So we can just go live if you want. That'd be kind of cool. Pamela has spoken. That's right. Be a gratitude junkie. Let's take the word junkie which has a lot of negative connotations to it, and add a really positive word to balance it out, and we get gratitude junkie. Be a junkie towards being grateful. Maya says, I always wanted to be a Bond girl. That's cool. Yeah, I have these fantasies myself. That's why I love the AI music stuff, man, and I'm embracing it. I know a lot of musicians would say this or that, but for me, it's given me an opportunity. I have 2 bands now, and I have like 15 songs, and, you know, it takes a lot to make them. It's not that easy. We got Ireland in the house. What's up, Constance? Isaac says, I got my Rahu and Mars in Virgo. What house is it in? Do you know what house it's in? Despite what house it's in. If you talk about the Rahu is your desire. So when you put Rahu in a sign of what is Virgo? Service. How can I be of service? Because that's the earth. The earth's like, how can I help you? The Virgin. How can I be of service to you? What can I do to help your life? I'm the earth. Right? And then you're going to get your Mercury involved the way you think, because it's that energy there. So how can I be of service? Rahu and Virgo, service, precision. An area in life where you can use your analytical mind and your precision and service. You could get into health and wellness for sure. Because Virgo is the 6th zodiac and 6 is the house of health. You put Mars there and there's a lot of drive and ambition towards servicing other people. Being somebody who's precise. But health and wellness, absolutely. That's an area that you could get into. The area of health and wellness. Oh, and you got Chiron there too, so that throws a big wrench. So that's what's going to make you great. See, Chiron's got this bad rap of the wound. And it's fascinating because Chiron is the centaur. Let me just go there and show you really quickly. We're going to go to the map. Let's look at this. Let's look at Crux. Crux is the cross. It's in the southern hemisphere. It's in the sign of Centaurus. Chiron. Why would the cross be associated with the centaur, Chiron? Because this is your wound. Getting crucified, Chiron. Right? You can only see this in the southern hemisphere. I don't care if you have a telescope. You won't be able to see it in the northern hemisphere. Most of you should know it's why I'm not a flat earther. Completely demolishes it. Can't see Crux from the northern hemisphere. And both the southern sky and the northern sky move in opposite directions. That's another impossibility. Doesn't make any sense. But anyway, that's Chiron. And you have a playing card that's attached to Chiron. I think, Isaac, you're the 4 of diamonds, if I'm not mistaken, which means your Chiron card is the 3 of hearts, right? But see it pointing to Scorpio? That's another marker, or it could be. So the Chiron, I think you're the 4 of diamonds, so you're the 3 of hearts. Expansion of what you love. So you have that in the 6th sign of Virgo. So it's going to involve your precision. It can involve procrastination from the shadow side. Chiron can, right? But it's going to make you great. It's going to force you. It's going to force you. My Chiron is in Pisces. So of course I'm going to be fascinated by religion and theology. That's what Pisces is. I was raised as a JW for the first 16 years of my life. Get Chiron in Pisces. So I'm a fanatic about it. I don't follow it, but I'm a fanatic about it. I got Zeus in Sagittarius with Venus. I'm a fanatic about it. But it's what makes you great. So you have to, the 3 of hearts, your Chiron card, you need to take the number 3, which is expansion, and the heart, what you love. Expand what you love. You put it into the 6th sign of Virgo. You add in Rahu and Mars, and it's going to involve your drive and ambition and your determination. But you got to be of service. Your code is involving service. That's what your and health and wellness. Families in there, all that kind of stuff. Rahu, just Rahu alone. We did the whole dance of Rahu on this public YouTube. You could, if you want to know your Rahu and Ketu positions, we did every single one. It's called the dance of Rahu. That will tell you a lot about what your focus is on. A lot. I got mine's in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the mind, the higher mind, philosophy, religion. What do you think I talk about? What do I have in my decodes? What am I a fanatic about? Mythology, theology, history, Mesopotamia, Babylon, Sumerian stuff. All of that, I love it because I have all this energy in the 9th zodiac sign of Sagittarius, which is ruled by Zeus. And Zeus wants to expand. So he's going to expand my mind. I got Venus there. My love signature is in Sagittarius. So your Rahu is a game changer once you know it, and you learn all of that in the Spotlight course. So don't try to figure it out. Just go do the Spotlight course, and it'll all work itself out. These are the kind of comments that I really embrace. Why can't we all be like this? And if you can't be like this, then just be neutral. That's what lukewarm is about, folks. The aspect of lukewarm is the whole aspect of being lukewarm is you came into this world through the birth canal, which is about 100 degrees. That's lukewarm. It's not too hot, not too cold. And then the blood is the biggest marker because the blood's pH, 7.3 to 7.4. What's the perfect temperature? About 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Lukewarm. So you're in the middle. And then you want to be slightly alkaline. That's the way the body operates the best. You're slightly alkaline. If you pee on the little test strips, you want to look like a forest green, right? If you're peeing on the test strips, the pH test strips, and it's yellow, you're acidic. So you want to get that to like green. You're slightly alkaline, right? That's what it means to be lukewarm. You want to be slightly love. And if you can't be loving to somebody, right, then just be neutral to it. You can stand your ground, absolutely. I don't take shit. Some people come at me, man, I'll stand my ground. Like, why are you coming at me? Why do I got to do what you want me to do? How does that work? How does that work? How does it work when I got to do what you think I should do? How's that going to better my life? It's going to better your life. Right? So just the next time you want to tell somebody, hey, I think this and I think, maybe you don't want to do that unless they ask you. We got Arizona in the house. How's it going, Lane? Lane's asking, where would you direct someone who wants to be a student of the tarot? AI. AI, man. ChatGPT, Grok. If you want to get a book, fine. There's plenty of books out there that you can study. I'll give you something, a big one. Here you go, right here. If you want to study the tarot and you want to do it old school, Here's the website I'd tell you to go to. Teach Me Tarot. This woman right here, man, she has got so much information on the tarot. Okay? So much that you'll go crazy looking at all this stuff. Okay? So if you want to learn, if you want to do it old school, teachmetarot.com. I think her, I don't even know her, but I mean, she's an influencer. And all this stuff that she's written, this was all done by hand. So I have utmost respect because this wasn't, I doubt this was AI. This was all done by her, probably sitting in front of a computer. I don't know when they created this website, but so that's where I would go, Lane. Teach Me Tarot, but if you want to learn tarot, AI, man. AI is really good at teaching you tarot, astrology, numerology. The whole Spotlight course is using AI to get all your information. I mean, if you do the Spotlight course, you'll get some tarot in there because we show you how to get your name attached to it, and it's really fun, exciting. But that would be the easiest handbook because you don't got to buy anything. Teach Me Tarot. It's really good. Remerge Band asked, do we help to create our own code before we come into this movie? That'll be up for debate. That'll come down to an opinion without any evidence. There won't be any shred of evidence to support that. It's an idea. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Randy says, I look like Tim from the Midnight. I love that band. Static is my favorite song by them. I never looked at myself as Tim, but okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. So Isaac says, I do procrastinate. You know what procrastination's, the main cause of procrastination is caused by? Fear. Fear is what causes procrastination. It's not laziness. Because if you knew that you would get it done, if you only knew if you knew what was going to happen, fear the unknown. Or it could be the fear of what will people think. They're not going to like it. If you get a lot of energy in Virgo, you may talk yourself out of it. They're not going to like it. It's not going to be good enough. But I appreciate you being authentic and saying that. So then you just make an attempt to change that. Scripted or not. See, when you're downloading and you're being authentic, you're being in line with your true self because you're not afraid to tell people, this is me. I'm not afraid to tell you that I've been addicted to drugs. Don't care. I'm not afraid to tell you I went to prison. Don't care. I'm not afraid to tell you I've been married 3 times and divorced 3 times. I don't care what you think. I could care less what you think. Doesn't matter. Your opinions don't pay my bills and they're meaningless in my life. So I become what you would call vulnerable. No, I just don't care. I'm past that point of caring what people think. I'm past that point. Because I have the confidence to know that not everybody's going to like me. I have my hater core. I have my haters out there. It's totally fine. It's cool. But I got more people that like me than hate me. So the odds are stacked in my favor. And I'm not trying to keep score. I know you're not trying to keep score. Once you get past the area of vulnerability, once you can be vulnerable and put yourself out there, there's no dirt. You know everything. Awesome. Let's go. Let's do this. No fear. Doesn't mean I'm fearless in life. I still have that's what makes you great. What makes a heart surgeon great? The fear of killing somebody in the operating table. That's one of the reasons why they're going to be great. And who gets that job? Think about this, right? This is kind of for fun. If you are a heart surgeon and you go to medical school for 6 years or whatever, who's your first patient you get to operate on as a heart surgeon? If you needed an operation on your heart, like it's a life or death kind of situation, does the hospital tell you, hey, guess what? That guy, the doctor, this is his first operation. Would you sign off on that? Who makes those decisions? Because you got to start somewhere. You started somewhere. If you're at a job, your very first day on the job, hey, there's the rookie. But your life, is somebody's life in your hands? I mean, think about it. Heart surgeons, man, they have to start somewhere. If you're a heart surgeon, who's your first patient that you operate? Open heart surgery, that was my first patient. Did they agree to that? Would you sign off on a doctor that has never done open heart surgery and you're the first patient he's ever or she's ever operated on? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's interesting, though. I appreciate all your comments, man. They mean a lot, honestly. It's fuel to keep going, right? Like, why do I do the things that I do? What is Logan, what do I get from an astrological perspective? A lot of people want to know. I'm going to tell you. So then you can look at, and this is what the Spotlight course can teach you, right? We'll go to my birthday. So I'll just show you. 1973, I was born. February 4th. 1:03 a.m. And I'm going to go here. I'm going to look for the moon. Why am I going to look for the moon? Because the moon is your emotions. What do I have? A new moon. And this is why I value this over any other. Even Mastering the Zodiac, I like this one better. Because Mastering the Zodiac has my moon in Capricorn, which it partly is. This is the capital star of Capricorn. So my moon is literally playing out here, and it's playing out with Saddle Sud, the capital star of Aquarius. I'm literally in a tug of war between these two. So what is the moon in your astrological chart? It's your emotions. Why do I do what I do? Why am I here helping people? Because I get an emotional payoff by being a humanitarian. That's what Aquarius is. I get an emotional payoff by giving you knowledge. And I have a new moon, so I have a lot of new ideas, off the chart ideas that nobody's kind of ever thought of before. And it ain't me doing it, by the way, so I'm not bragging. The groundbreaking material that we've brought out, it ain't by me. No, it's all of this that's doing it. So my moon is sharing Aquarius and Capricorn. And this is kind of the anomaly in astrology. The arm of Aquarius runs over Capricorn. And I think this is why Saturn is the co-ruler of Aquarius, because of this anomaly here. But wherever your moon is, that's where you get, that's why they say you're going to go on the honeymoon. So what is going to raise your oxytocin? The moon. So what raises my oxytocin? When I can give you knowledge and when I can make you a better person. Being a humanitarian is Aquarius. My moon is there. And the Capricorn energy is I get emotional satisfaction by creating shit. That's why I have a very active YouTube and Patreon. We're closing in on 900 videos. It's the Capricorn energy. I'm a Capricorn sun. Workaholic. I don't have a choice but to be a workaholic. I'm climbing the mountain to get to the top of the mountain, the king of the hill. Right? That's the sun, and my mind is in Mercury. But the moon is where I get my emotional payoffs. And I want to help you. And I'm very tech savvy. I don't know what I would do. I had this conversation with somebody the other day. I don't know what I would do if you took my computer and my technology away. Because that's my life. My life's work is based on the books I write on the computer, the music I make on the computer, the graphics I create on the computer. I'm using Adobe Suite, Photoshop, Illustrator, Adobe Premiere, After Effects, Camtasia. This whole room that you see me in is made by Photoshop. Layers and layers of images I had to create to make this. Photoshop, digital. My life is surrounded by technology. I love the technology, but it's harmful. It can be harmful if sitting for hours and hours and hours and hours has caused issues in my posture. But the technology, it's tied to the Aquarian energy, the humanitarian in me. And February 4th, from a seasonal based aspect, this is where tropical astrology shines. I was born in the winter in the Tropic of Cancer, in the tropical under the guise of Aquarius. Right? Through the 12 houses, that's where tropical shines. The winter stage. Literally the end of winter, the beginning of spring. The beginning of spring, I think, is right around 15th, 17th of February, 18th. But we attribute it to March 20th, March 19th, the spring equinox. But if you go look at your astrological chart, all I got to do is look at where your moon is at. It'll tell me how you want to get your emotional payoffs. What's going to make you feel good? When I get to help you, I feel good. I get rewarded for that. When I put out a song, I feel good about it. I get rewarded. When I put out a decode, ladies and gentlemen, I have so many hours. When you watch a presentation, like you watch this presentation and it's just a half hour long. If you watch a presentation of mine, you know what goes into that? A complete day of work. It's getting easier because I'm able to pull slides from but if I'm creating from scratch a 30-minute, 45-minute presentation, it's an all day, sometimes 2 days of sitting there in front of the computer. I literally have a master's degree in forensic decoding because I've done it. I've been doing it now. You asked me, how long you've been doing it? Consistently since 2017. And how many hours have you spent? 10, 12 hours every day for the most part. Not taking any breaks. Week in and week out. Not going out and partying while everybody else is going out. On Saturday, Sunday, my ass is in front of the computer decoding. That's why I got 800 videos, 900 videos. That's what goes into it. That's what I get my rewards from. When I can put a video in front of you that takes me days to create, to make it look aesthetically appealing. So you'll sit there and you'll watch it instead of just putting some chunky things together. No, aesthetics. Why? Because I got Libra rising. Venus is my rising. So I put beauty into the presentations, aesthetics into the presentations, artistry into the presentations. And my Venus is in Sagittarius, so what's going to be the aesthetics and the artistry? Knowledge. Knowledge and artistry is what my presentations are all about, and I get emotional payoffs when I put those out there for you that you can watch. That's because my moon is in Aquarius. That was probably a little bit too much information there, but anyways. Jasmine. That's funny. Oh, I'm going to throw this up because this is a funny... where's the damn comment? Oh, here we go. So Jasmine says you could feed... So these right here, Jedi, Galumps, and Daytonas, yeah, these are all the animals and the cats that I feed here in Mexico. Wow. Well, I get a raccoon now that comes to the door. 2 cats. There's 3 other cats. There's 4 other cats down the street. This place has got tons of cats. And I love helping them. It's fun. You know, and of course they come into your life because there's a reason for it. So the black one, his name is Jedi. And he's a scaredy cat. They're all feral cats, but he won't even let me touch him. He's been with me for a year. He still won't let me touch him. He runs. He'll come in the house. He'll only let me get me so close. His name's Jedi. It's fun, man. You're in Star Wars. Yeah. We're in a soap opera. Right? I totally concur. Star Wars. That is a great comment right here. You're all in this world right now doing exactly what you're called to do and probably why it feels so good doing it. So, you know, I often tell people, because a lot of you you may not think you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, but you are. Otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. So the thing is that if you don't feel like you're in your zone, then that's a good thing, because your higher self is forcing you to look at other places. Like I had no idea I was going to get into any of this stuff. I wasn't even looking. My forte is health and wellness, man. Certified in nutrition. Then I got into real estate. But my main thing is why real estate? Because I got the sun in Capricorn. So I did like 4 or 5 years in real estate. I did really well. But my main thing is health and wellness. It's my main forte. I loved it, but I was always like something was missing. When I got into this career field, man, it chose me. And now I wake up and I do what I love, and so I don't work anymore. I stopped working a long time ago. Now I just create passion. So if you're not there, well, you're not alone, because that was me. So the thing that you want to consider here with your life is just remember that everything that's happening with you and for you, not to you, with you and for you, is not permanent. It's temporary. So if you don't feel good, temporary. If you don't feel like you're in the career field that is fulfilling your cup, temporary. It's a stepping stone. This is what we do as human beings, though. What we do is we treat like it's going to be permanent, like it's forever. No, it's just temporary. Even this field that I'm in right now, is it permanent? I don't know. It might not be. This might be a stepping stone to get to something else. See, I let go. I just, as I say, I pedal and I let go of the steering, like let go of the handlebars. I just pedal. I just go. So if you want to know which way to go, there's one requirement for that. Got to study yourself. I'm not talking surface level study, like what's your sun sign? No, I'm not. That's surface. That's why we created the Spotlight course. The Spotlight course is it's been 9 years it took us to build it. I went back, that's how long I've been working on it. 9 freaking years, man. I didn't know it was going to morph into that. 9 years. And we're just going to keep adding to it because it's layers of the onion that you want to study about yourself. Not just what's your sun, what's your sun sign, what's your moon sign. That's the beginning stages of the beginning stages of astrology. Yeah, so Dean says I'm retired. I don't believe in retirement. I don't even know what that word is. It's not in my list of like things that happen to people. People never retire. My parents, right? My mother and father. My mother's 79, my father's 80, and they're both really healthy. And they're constantly doing something to the freaking house. The joke is with my parents is like, what project are you working on next? A couple weeks ago, it was we're going to remodel the bathroom. Now they want to put a gazebo in the back, and then it's going to be the lawn in the front. It's never ending. They're not retired. They're retired. They're not retired. They're bored. Boredom is what keeps you going. Boredom is what gets us into trouble. So retire, I don't know about that. Maximus says life is about being a good person. Not for everybody. Is that a one-sided statement? So again, if you're looking at the foundation, the fabric of this reality, do you see everybody doing good things? I certainly don't. That you would, if we had to define them. Because to me, they're just all actions. Like you're just doing, you're going to hear me if you watch The Boys Decoded on Tuesday night or Tuesday afternoon. You're going to hear me say this. I'll say it right now. Trump is playing a phenomenal character. That's right. And if you have any emotions towards that, like, oh my God, I can't stand him, you haven't figured it out yet. Your emotional reaction to somebody you can't stand them is what's feeding the system that you can't stand. This is the idea behind being lukewarm. Lukewarm, if you don't like somebody, I don't care anymore. I look at him as he's this character because you know what? When you study Hollywood, when you study movies, right? If you want to become an actor or actress, I learned this from a real actor in the business. And what this person told me was, what makes a great actor or actress is whether or not you can have the crowd love or hate you. That's what gives an award-winning performance. Is when you can either fall in love with the character or you can't stand the character. That's what an award-winning performance is. But the characters in the movie or the shows, do you lose sleep over them? Does it matter when you shut the movie off? When you're all emotionally, you get your panties in a ringer because of the movie, does it get you all butthurt and upset? because the character died or because they're doing something that you would never do and it pisses you off? What's the difference between the movie and politics? The answer is nothing. Nothing's the difference. So I'm saying that Trump is playing a phenomenal character because look at the role the guy got assigned. He's playing the character that a lot of people can't stand anymore. So he's giving an award-winning performance. Because he ain't doing it, he's just acting out his part. We all know that now. But he's an actor. Just like you and I. You're an actor or an actress. And you're giving maybe a semi-good performance. You know, you should be treating your life like you're on a permanent audition. You're trying to get the part. Tomorrow's not guaranteed, you know, so for those of you that procrastinate, what? Go get it. Do it. What are you waiting for, man? Maybe that's the message you need to hear. Stop procrastinating. If you're not happy in the area of your life, if you're not feeling satisfied, then go study your code. If you're lost and you're like, I don't really know what I want to do, have you done your blueprint? Have you looked at yourself under a microscope, esoteric microscope? Have you looked at yourself? Because I can take Trump, which I'm going to do during the Boys Decoded on Tuesday, the 19th of May. 2 days away, you're going to watch it. I have his astrological chart, not his tropical, that garbage, because that's not accurate. His Mastering the Zodiac, his Stellarium, his cosmic codes, you're going to see Trump is a Taurus sun, okay? You can see it in his face. He's orange. He's a big guy. He's got a Taurus face and body. He is not a Gemini sun, man. He is a Taurus sun. He's a late Taurus. His Mercury's in Gemini, though, so the way he thinks is by way of Gemini, so he's going to pick up those traits. But he's playing out a phenomenal character, and his Rahu is conjunct his sun in Taurus. So what do you think his character is going to be about? Show me the money. Show me the money. And he's done it. He is fulfilling his obligation and role. Despite how much hatred or even the people that respect him and like him, the MAGA movement and all that stuff, whatever, man, he is playing a phenomenal character. He doesn't have a choice in the matter, so why would you get upset about it? Why do you get so upset about these people? Well, maybe because you haven't adopted as truth that these people don't have a choice. Because if you think they have a choice, then I can see why you get angry or pissed off. But you haven't dug deep enough. And I'm not coming off like I know it all. I've done the research. It's like, don't tell me trigonometry doesn't work when you're doing basic algebra. When you're doing your 3 times 3 is 9, when you're doing your multiplication tables, you don't run in on a professor teaching trigonometry and say, oh, that doesn't work. That's BS. When you're still trying to figure out what 9 times 3 is. No, when you get up to a level of algebra and trigonometry and you start to figure out the formulas and you become a mathematician like that. Like, I'm ignorant in some of those areas. I've never studied trigonometry, but I'm not going to tell somebody that studied it that it doesn't work. So when somebody tells me, oh, I have control over my life, well, I'm going to show you don't. But you haven't studied it enough. I'm at that level of trigonometry where people are at there, and I'm not bragging. I'm just making a comparison. Until you step up and get to the trigonometry, until you step up and study how this code works and how this reality works, don't sit there and tell me that and get mad at people for doing what they're doing. And again, if you don't like what they're doing, stop paying attention to what they're doing. It's a very easy fix. It's kind of like a lot of people say, if I'm an alcoholic, right? And I'm not going to go into a bar. Smart move. If you can't resist the urge of drinking, then don't go into the bar. That's what a lot of people that claim to be alcoholics. I can't go into a bar because I'll have the urge to drink, so I don't do it. It's the same thing applies for when you watch your politics. If you can't watch those people that are in a movie, if you can't watch them and not have emotional reactions, you should not be watching it. If they piss you off, you should not be watching it. And even when you watch it, you're giving it energy. Because your eyes are giving it energy. Your focus is giving it energy. And it's unavoidable. Because, I like to study it. I like to study people because of psychology. But I don't care. I know why you're doing what you're doing. I can already see it in your chart. I can already see it. It's like I know how an engine runs because I have the mechanics of the engine. Because it's got pistons and it's got spark plugs. But I'm not going to get mad at the engine because it backfires. Or it sputters because the timing's off. No, I'm going to fix the timing. I think that what makes people great now is when you have no idea what's going on the world stage. When you're completely oblivious. I think that's what makes a person great now. When somebody said, did you hear about this? This happens. What are you talking about? No, I had no idea. Thanks everybody for being here. So I'm going to address this right here. And I'm going to say the great Santos Bonacci, because his behavior that I don't resonate with at all, his vile, evil personality that he has now, I don't resonate with that. I'm here in Puerto Morelos is because he was here. I used to be tight. I look at the good in him. I value what he's brought to the table and what he's done to change people's lives. What he's doing now in his behavior and his personality, it doesn't take away from his greatness. Sure, it's definitely causing a lot of blemishes because I don't want nothing to do with that energy. I don't hang out with people like that. So I stop following. I don't follow anymore because that ruins it. It's kind of like hanging out with somebody that doesn't wear deodorant, like they have really bad body odor. I'm not going to hang out with that person. That's the kind of way I view it. But it doesn't take away from what he has done and brought to the table over the years. But where I draw the line is when somebody is very angry and then they start to reach out and hammer people that don't agree with their truth. And that just shows that they don't have the full confidence in their truth. To me, it does. So if you follow a certain system, tropical is his thing, then just go do that. That's totally cool. It's a system of magic. It works. But if we're going to say, is it accurate with the night sky? Well, there's nothing he could ever bring to the table to say that it is, because it's not. So I already know the fact of the matter is, despite what anybody says, they would be wrong when it comes to 1 + 1 = 2. We already proved that with the discovery of Neptune, because Neptune was discovered with mathematics. Before anybody ever put a telescope in the sky, Neptune was given coordinates to the astrologer and say, hey, if you point your telescope up to that area right there with the calculations I'm giving you, you're going to find some kind of celestial body. And that's how they discovered Neptune. And the exact coordinates of where Neptune was located at on the night of that discovery is not in line with tropical astrology that Santos uses. It's 24 degrees forwards. It's not accurate. So I already know that's the proof. I don't need to debate and argue about it. The proof's in the pudding. It completely shatters all of your truth that you're putting out there. And then when you come at people, and he's come at me personally and attack me, and I'm like, dude, where's this coming from, man? We thought we were like brothers. Oh, it's because I love you. No, that's not what love's about, man. Love is about you do you, and I'm going to do me. Right? Just you go do you, man. Like, you don't see the Circle K guy fighting with the 7-Eleven dude because he works at Circle K. I mean, that's how ridiculous it is. Honestly. The guy at Costco's not hanging out at Sam's Club and wanting to beat up the manager of Sam's Club because he works at Costco. I mean, it's absurd. And that's why I don't follow him anymore, because I don't resonate with that kind of evil. It's evil, folks. It's disgusting behavior. I can get mad. I can stand my ground, but I'm not going to come at people and just name calling and the vileness. And then people like this stuff. I go through the comments because people have shared the videos. I go through the comments. I'm like, yeah. People are like cheering them on. I'm like, that's what you are then if you are sharing this information. It blows my mind. This is the people that support this kind of behavior. So I have no ill will towards him. I mean, if he walked in my door right now, I'm sure we could bury the hatchet and be like, hey, what's up, dude? Because we have a lot in common. But the behavior, the vileness, the evil, I mean, that's the part I just don't resonate with at all. And I don't even call it sad, man. It's just it's part of his destiny. I'm gonna show you right. I'll show you right now. Let me just show you right now so we can be pretty crystal clear. Because I know you want to see the proof. So we're gonna do that. I'll go to Mastering the Zodiac. I'll use this, the two-dimensional chart. Santos was born on the 24th of March, 1963 at 1630 p.m. in Myrtleford, Australia. I think it's 1630, or let me just double check this. I should know this, but I think it's 1630 or 1645. These damn things. I'll be able to tell right away when I look at this. Yeah, so this is it. So let me explain to you why this is the most accurate astrology and why this lines up with the sky, despite what anybody wants to tell you with their opinions. This is the accuracy. So he swears up, he's an Aries. Well, this is why he resonates with Aries energy. Because this first house, which is tropical, this is the domain of Aries. He has nothing in the sign of Aries during his birth. He's a Piscean sun. That's why he was a Jehovah's Witness for 20 years. This is the church. This is the reason why he gets so pissed off and angry and vile and disgusting. This is what serial killers have, by the way. They have Hades and Leo, the black sun, inside the sign of Leo, in his first house. So, and you can see he resembles Hades. the look of him, the demeanor of him. Because his first house of Aries, he has Hades there. Death. And the black sun. And if you piss him off, if you get on his bad side, he will rip you to shreds. Because he has the black sun in the first house of Aries through Leo, which is he's going to scorch you. Okay? And to make it even more dominant, he's conjunct with Uranus. Uranus is revolution. I'm not going to listen to anything you say. I am my own boss. You're going to listen to, and he's got Leo rising, so of course, you're going to listen to what I got to say. I'm the lion. So he's not a Leo sun, but he has a rising sign of Leo. When you conjunct these two right here, and you're working from the shadow, that is what you're getting from a personality perspective of what you're seeing of him. This is the Aries energy that nobody's looking at if you don't pay attention to these charts. He has nothing in Aries. The only thing his Aries is matching up with is the 9th house. So his drive and ambition is towards knowledge. This is the 9th house of knowledge. But his sun is in Pisces. And guess where it's in? The 8th house of Scorpio. So it's going to pull this Pluto energy right here to the sun right here. And if you don't agree with his teachings, he will hammer you for it. And he does. Flat earth, astrology, it's got to be his way. That's the lion. I'm the king of the jungle. If you don't like what I got to say, your truth is bullshit. You're this, you're that. That's all the shadow side of the conjunction of Uranus with Hades in the first house of fire. You add in his Mars in Cancer. You go anywhere near the things that he loves, he will freaking cause war. This energy right here, if you got Mars in Cancer, you better not piss somebody's family off. You better not talk bad about someone's, home or family, because they'll rip you to shreds. This is exactly where Mars was during the invasion of Poland during World War II. Or either that or Adolf Hitler has it, because this is protecting the homeland. That's what he does. Santos does. Anything that's close to his heart, he'll go to war for it. Mars is the ruler of the first house. So this 12th house will end up enacting through the first house right here, even though it's Leo. And Leo is a fire sign. So he has Hades, the black sun, in a fire sign to make it black from the shadow. And Uranus conjunct there. This on the shadow side, ladies and gentlemen, this is where you get the vile side of him. I already told you folks, a lot of serial killers have this position. He was in a position of murder. I already went through all that. Well, it was self-defense. I already went through this. I already decoded the whole thing. Because he attracted it. He had no choice. He didn't have a choice. He has his moon in Aquarius like me, so he gets emotional fulfillment when he helps people. But he has a lot of energy in Pisces, and look at what's in the 8th house of Scorpio. Mercury, Jupiter, and the sun. The expansion, and the sun, the enlightenment, and Mercury, the way he thinks, all in the 8th house of Scorpio. It's gonna pull the energy from the first house right here. The 8th house is what the ruler of Hades is. So this energy right here, folks, is the main reason why so many people say, oh, he's in Aries and the Aries is coming out. No, it's because he has Hades in Aries and Uranus conjunct in the first house of Aries. That's why. And he's got it in the sun, so it's, you better listen to me. I got it right. I know everything. You got it wrong. And essentially, ladies and gentlemen, the thing about Santos is he's right. Right? He's right. Everybody's right. Nobody's wrong. But I just described to you, I just showed you with the accuracy of why he does what he does. A major contributor to that is that Hades and Uranus conjunct in the first house of Aries. That's why. On the shadow side, man, it's a lot of darkness. I'm grateful I didn't get that. Like I said, I showed you guys and gals the surge of serial killers, 1950, 60, he was born in 63, right in that area. Hades was in Leo. Hydra. Leo is being influenced by Hydra, the serpent. It influences Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. That's how long it is. So the first house tells you a lot about the individual. I got Scorpio in my first house. I got Scorpio in my first house. I just don't have Hades there. I got Poseidon there, the god of water. So a big draw to the mystical side? Yeah, for sure. But when you got Hades and you got Uranus conjunct in the first house, that is ruled by Aries, which is the default house of Aries, which is a fire sign, man, if you're working from the shadow, that's what you get from an individual. They can't be wrong. It's in the sign of Leo, so it's like you're the showman, right? It's all about you. The lion wants to be seen. And he's had this career, this long career of being in the spotlight, Leo, first house. And he's dropped a lot of bombs. He's opened a lot of doors, and his work has been critical to the esoteric. And he has a long, great standing. His old work is the very best. But it is literally being dismantled by way of his behavior now. And I hope he switches it around. I really do. I have no ill will towards him. I just don't hang out with that kind of energy anymore. You know, I don't know why people would want to do that. Simply Samantha, yeah. For sure. On average, Joe does a reading. Yes, it's from me. Everything on Cosmic Sugar, everything is me. Cosmic Sugar, Spotlight, that's all. It's all me. There's nobody else. It's just me. So if you do decide you want a personal reading, it take about 3 hours. You can't get it next week. I'm booked out in a month in advance at least, and I don't do them in the morning times. Just so you know, I only do readings at night usually. To get into my flow. What provoked this? That's an interesting comment. CJ says, you'll never talk to anyone smarter than me. Okay. That's an interesting comment. Simply Samantha, I recently discovered astrocartography, and then I moved across the country and ended up on my Saturn line. Well, I would definitely suggest you go ask AI that, because it'll give you way more information than I could ever give you. The astrocartography is a fun idea. It's a fun way to look at where you're living. Then you can get into, we did that, we have a free book. It's called Alchemical Cities. You can download it for free. That was taking the ley lines and the grid over the earth and getting it into numbers and looking at where you live, where you were born. That's an extension on that. So I would definitely encourage you to do that. The astrocartography gets superseded by one thing, and that is your fate. Your fate. Your destiny. You know, I've lived in many different places throughout my life. And I've looked at the astrocartography. And for me, it's a fun way to look at life, but I don't put much faith in it. I honestly don't. Not that I'm not trying to belittle it. But if you just said, hey, okay, where do I want to move? And you just move there by your instinct, you're following your higher self, then you wouldn't even need to look at astrocartography. That's why, like, I've demonstrated this so many times with the presentations that we've done, where I don't have to even try to put a presentation out on a certain day. I don't have to try to put a presentation out and stop it so I can get a timestamp. I don't have to edit it to get numbers to come out the way they come out. They come out exactly the way they're going to. Matter of fact, I just put out a presentation for all the members on the Patreon last night. It is a precursor to the presentation that's coming out on Tuesday involving Trump and the boys on Tuesday afternoon. And the presentation on the Patreon is called The Destroyer. And the Destroyer's timestamp was 30 minutes and 58 seconds long. And what do you get when you take 30 and 58? You get 88. And 88's tied to Ra. And 88 is the numerology of the word Trump. Because I'll give you a secret, or not a secret, but I'll give you something that's going to come out. Donald John Trump is playing Abaddon the Destroyer, Apollyon. So he's playing. You'll see that. You'll see that. You're gonna see it. It's happening. Is that my opinion? Everything here is my opinion. What can I give you beyond my opinion? The evidence of the forensics. That's what we do here. And even when I give the evidence, that doesn't mean you have to say, okay, I agree with you. Because the majority of the world does not. The majority of the world does not agree with the discovery that we present. They don't. Now, that's fine. I'm not here to get your likes or your subscriptions. I'm just doing my job, man. You know? Ken Green. I don't have any thoughts on it. I mean, cremation, burial, it's just a form of moving on, I guess. You know? So I don't really have an opinion on that. I wish I could give you more. I just don't really have an opinion on that. Dreaming says I was adopted. I don't have my birth time. Yeah, you may have missed this, but we talked. Someone had this earlier on, and I said that if you do the Spotlight course, I mean, if I did a reading for you, you'd be faced with the same situation if I do it. Or I would just encourage you to do the Spotlight. It's free. It's donation based. You know, if you like to, you know, there's value in doing it yourself. There's a satisfaction of getting the information yourself. Some people like to have it done for them. That's why I still do the readings. But there's value in that. You don't need your birth time. You will need a birth time. So you can do dowsing, where you can take a pendulum. You can do kinesiology. You can go see somebody who does kinesiology and ask the question, and you can narrow it down based upon what your body responds to and what time you were born. Start off, was I born in the morning time or the nighttime? You ask either question, and then you pinpoint it down. Start narrowing it down. Kinesiology is probably one of the best ways to find out what time you were born. And then when you locate the time with the kinesiology or I'd rather use the kinesiology than the dowsing. Once you get your birth time with the kinesiology, if that's the method you do, then you treat it sacred and you go on a walk in nature, go to the beach, go hiking, something that you do by yourself, and you go confirm the time with your higher self, whatever that is. And when you come up, because you're going to need to put a time in astrology. It's going to ask you for a birth time. You're going to put something in there. But even if that all failed and you didn't know, you just didn't know, you would still have the celestials, for instance. When you go to the stellarium, right? This red line is called the ecliptic. It's what everything follows. It doesn't matter what time you were born. The only thing that does really kind of matter is the moon. You may lose the position of the moon, but not necessarily, right? The sun is not going to really matter. You're going to lose the house it's in, but for instance, we're going to go today, May 17th. Where's the sun right now, May 17th? Taurus. Okay? That's where the sun's at right now. For everybody. So even if I push this and I go through the time, let me just type in the sun here and show you. So we can keep it on the sun. Even if I move through the time, it's still going to stay there. Doesn't matter. The sun's still going to stay in Taurus, no matter what time it is. Okay? You don't lose that. Jupiter, same thing. It's in Taurus. No matter what time I go, it's going to stay there. So what you would lose is you'll lose the houses because this spins. So you would lose the positions of what these mean. But that's totally fine, because when you go if you go do the Spotlight course, you're going to have access to the astroalchemical cosmic codes, and you'll be able to take your astrological sign and put it in here. And this system doesn't care what time you were born. It goes by the gates and the constellations. So you'd put your wheel right inside here, and you'd be able to start measure the gates and then the elements of the periodic table. So this alleviates a lot of that, like, oh, I don't know what time I was born. That's totally cool. You're still going to there's going to be a lot of value in these esoteric layers, irregardless of being adopted and not knowing what time you were born. Okay? So dreaming, you're good to go. You know? What's I'll engage with this because it's where did it go? I think it's amazing. One of my go-to pizzas for the longest time was pineapple and jalapeno. When I was vegan, I guess you could say semi because I was still having cheese, but it was pineapple and jalapeno. That was my go-to. Thanks a lot, Max. I appreciate that. You've been here for a long time. So to say 7 years, that's a long time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to unwind and we're going to get to the tail end of this. I can't be going my normal 4 or 5 hours like I normally do. So we're going to get these tarot cards ready and well, you're allergic to pineapple, Maria, huh? That kind of sucks. All right. So if you've never been here for the ending of this, we, as tarot cards, we just simply ask what's the most important thing to focus on in life right now. That's the kind of the easiest thing to do. And I'm not going to regurgitate saying this may not be for you, and if it doesn't resonate with you, just move on. And no, what I would encourage you to do is to find the meaning in these cards for you. Is it universal? Yes. You got to find the meaning for you, though. Because what I will say confidently, and my final answer is you are the most important person living today. There isn't anybody more important than you. It's all about your truth. You're having the experience. You're projecting this experience. I'm just an extra in your movie. You're the star of the show. Those are my final answers. You may log off and never come on this channel again, and you've got to still live your life. And for me, mankind's being used. So you might as well give it a good show. Squeeze every drop you can out of life. Okay. So we're going to do 3 cards. I'm going to pull from the Astro deck as well to maybe get a house involved or a zodiac or a constellation position. And I'm going to do a flashcard 1 to 100 and see maybe there's a number that may come out for some of you. So some of you, this may be like, wow. Others of you, again, dig. Think about how it could fit into your life. Because what's going on in your life is not going on in my life. etc. All right, so what's the most important thing to focus on in life right now? 3 cards like we normally do. And the way I do it, I rub my fingers over the top without looking because the deck's facing me. And I just put my fingernail in here. And I just feel and slide it in there, and that's the one. So we're just going to pull that out without looking. What is that? Strength. And it came out like this, so I'm going to read it that way. But I'm more like this. Strength is the 8th house. This is the card of Scorpio. It's got a big fat 8 on it, in the 8th house in astrology, Scorpio. The 8th constellation, Scorpio. Strength. So what does it mean in Scorpio? Scorpio is usually known as the sexual side. What is this person doing? Taming the lion. Taming your animal instincts, the desires of the flesh. Well, if it comes out reverse, obviously it's the opposite of that. Not being able to tame your animal instincts. Strength is the first card. Let's get another one. Most important thing to focus on in life right now is card number 2. The Page of Cups, card 47. The pages are the princes or princesses, right? They're not the knights. So they're like a knight in training. The way I look at the pages are they're like it's somebody that just got out of college. And they just graduated college and they're kind of excited about the new job that they just got. Maybe they just landed a job that's going to pay them $100,000 a year. They just got out of college. So they're pretty excited about life. And the cups obviously has a fish in it. And this means you caught something, right? Well, the cups are tied to emotions. So we have a card that we previously pulled of the Strength card, which can deal with the desires of the flesh and the emotions and being able to tame that. And then we have the Page of Cups, which, a lot of people would say, oh, the cup represents some kind of new beginning coming into your life. Like, oh, I caught a fish. It's a new catch. So we could definitely say here that for some of you, it could be a new relationship coming into your life. But for some of you, you need to be able to put your boundaries up and say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to normally do what I normally did. Maybe some of you need to say no. Let's get a third card. Third card, most important thing to focus on in life right now. The Sun. Awesome. So we could say the Spirit. So this reading right here, ladies and gentlemen, some of you may be getting pregnant. Some of you, if you're doing the cha-cha-cha tonight or tomorrow, man, some of you may get pregnant. Some of you may be expecting a baby. I mean, it's right there in the card. Look at this. Look at those 3. The Strength card came out like this, so I'm just going to tell you, like, some of you need to say no to sex. Otherwise, you may have a little baby. This could also mean that there's a new opportunity coming into your life. A fresh opportunity. The Sun card has the little baby on there. It's got a white horse. It means purity. The baby's small. This can mean birth. So this can represent new opportunities. But being able, having the strength, the wherewithal. But because this is tied to Scorpio, I'm picking up on the interpretation sex. And when I see a baby on the horse and the Strength card and the little fish in the cup, well, now obviously if you're not engaging in sex, then that storyboard wouldn't fit your life. if you're celibate like me, if you're single like me, if you're not dating like me, then it would have a different meaning. But some of you need to say no. Maybe some of you need to say no to this new opportunity that's going to be coming into your life. That could birth something into your life that let's see what we can get with these astro cards. Let me see if this will narrow it down. Hades. Hades right now, Pluto is in Capricorn. So if you have any energy in wherever your Pluto is, this says rebirth. Pluto is tied to the birth as well. The resurrection in theology is tied to Pluto. When Jesus went into the wilderness, when Jesus fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, he went into the darkness. He went into the domain of Hades. The word darkness in Hebrew numerology is 40. From the original Hebrew, it's 40. Guess what is also 40? Sheol. When the sun, right now it's dark outside, we're in Hades' dominion right now. That's why when the flood happened, it was 40 days and 40 nights, darkness. The Israelites were in the wilderness for 40 years, complaining. Jesus fasted for 40. That's when Satan came to Jesus when he was fasting. He was in the wilderness, the darkness. So maybe your Hades is somewhere that will prove to be, or give, not prove to be, but give you some more knowledge on this right here. Let's pull a flash card. See what we get. I just reach in the box here. I can't even look at these, but what is this? 28. I mean, the word Lucifer is 28 in Chaldean numerology. So, I mean, I'm talking Hades, and Lucifer ties to Hades a lot. Antimony, 51. Or maybe 28. 28 is the second perfect number in mathematics. It's tied to the element nickel. It's tied to the element silicon. So maybe the 28 has significance in your life. Maybe you were born on the 28th. Maybe you were born at 2:08 a.m. or 2:08 p.m. or 8:02 a.m. or 8:02 p.m. Specifically 2:08 because it's the 28. But we have strength, whether it's a lack of or being able to control. And this is the card for me. This is the card of, like, it's Pluto. So this is the card of being the master of the flesh, being able to say no, being able to control the desires of the flesh. And it came out reverse, so it might be saying, hey, you better watch out for lack of control. And then you had the Page of Cups come out and that little fish. And considering that the Sun card came out with the little baby on there, it's some of you, if you're going to be having sex, man, you may want to protect yourself. Instead of doing it raw, just keeping it real. I don't really see it any other way with this. You can add them up too. 47, 8, 19. 74. That's tied to the darkness as well. So some of you may need to say no. Some of you may need to be able to say yes to a new opportunity coming into your life that's going to make some brightness come into your life. And some of you need to say yes. Some of you have been saying no to life. And this is saying, like, these two cards together it could just be the simplicity of saying yes. Just say yes. Having the strength to say yes. But look to where your Hades is at. Right now, Hades is in Capricorn for everybody. It's in gate number 58 in human design, I think. Yeah. Just tied to agriculture and the dirt. Even I would even say for some of you, if you've been thinking about planting your own garden, I know this is way off in left field here, but those of you that want to grow your own food, this could be a message for you to go do it. You know, Hades is tied to the underworld and the dirt. The strength card sits in Scorpio. And the Page of Cups in the sun, there's a baby and there's a fish. So if you move it into agriculture and the dirt, you're talking about planting a garden, growing your own food. Lucifer, 28, light, lux eterna. So for some of you, it could just be having the desire to go grow your own food. I know that's way different than the whole sex thing, but this message is here. Yeah, growing your own food. All right, so that's what I got for you, ladies and gentlemen. Strength, Page of Cups, and the Sun, with Hades to boot and the number 28. Okay? And that's a wrap. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Please get over and do the Spotlight course if you commit to it. If you can commit to it. Go donate, go download the books. I'll just do this really quickly one more time. Maybe you were here, not when I did it, but get to Spotlight. It's spelled Spotlit. The website will be below me in the television screen. It's a completely donation-based course. It's all free. Even if you don't have nothing, it's all access to everybody. Go at your own pace. There's no system like it. Nothing online today. If you want to have some free books, we just put out The Cosmic Codes of Human Design. Brand new groundbreaking material because it gives the human design the upgrade it needs, and it gives it not just the gates but the codes assigned from the periodic table. So you can download this for free, complimentary. We also have on the Cosmic Sugar website, I just released the Electric Lamb. It's 109 pages. It's formatted for your cell phone. It's got big text. So 60% of you use your cell phone. So you can download this for free. We also have Name Your Body for free. And then we have our Cards of Earth Casino. This is $20, the first book that we did, which has all the playing cards and tarot that's associated with your birthday. Okay, so you can support us that way if you want to. We do have personal readings. That's whatever. I'm not going to try to sell you guys on that, but at least get over and download the books and start doing the Spotlight course. I mean, that's why we made it that way, so everybody has access. No excuses. The only thing that you have to commit to is the time. And I know all of you have 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week. If you can commit 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week, you'll finish the Spotlight course in less than a month. That's taking your time. And once you learn it, then you can apply it to anybody else. You can start to break their code down. Okay? Pretty awesome. So we're going to end this with our brand new song by Madrugar, our band. And this one's called Not Me. I think, if I can find it. Or I'm Not, excuse me. We have two versions. I have a female version and I have a male version. The female version is the one we played at the very beginning of the intro. And I'll leave the links of the YouTube channel in the description as soon as I leave here. So maybe a few minutes if you want to go support the music, if you like it. Obviously, there's nothing there. You just listen to it. But this is kind of my artistry through music. So I'm going to leave it here, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. My name is Logan, Decode Your Reality, and I will see you on the next one.
When you die, will I remember you forever? Locked away, it's the end of this ledger for you. Holding on to this torturous venture, further away as I live through the pressure with you. 'Cause now it's life without needing. Will I wake up or fall asleep dreaming about you? Wait for me, I'm gonna die soon. Politics in an empty tomb, but why all of this? Will I get my wish? Dark and deadly, very messy. It's heavy like lead. You're dead, and I'm not. What's the poison for? Are you just bored? Keep draining me of my dream to want more with you. I know you're not coming back. It's black like a flower in winter that will never bloom. I'm gonna join you soon. So put on your best costume, and I'll put on my best costume. Dark and deadly, very messy. It's heavy like lead. You're dead, and I'm not. Dark and deadly, very messy. It's heavy like lead. You're dead, and I'm not. You're dead, and I'm not. And I'm not.